Welcome to the Nylssa Show. We're your hosts, Nylssa and Nylssa. And today on our show we'll be talking about military, specifically pharmacy officer. We will be discussing the role, training, education, and many other things that go beyond the normal scope of what a technician does. This type of work is for people that want to extend their education. Since you are already a pharmacy technician, why not expand your role and become a pharmacy officer? And today on our show we'll be discussing just that. Here's a brief video that will go into more detail.
There was some key information that the video didn't go into great detail with. We will just be explaining some things a little further. If I was you, I'd pay close attention to the things that are going to be said now. They may come up later in some sort of a game form. Hint, hint. After being accepted into the military, you will have to complete the first phase of training, and this is called basic officer training, at the recruit school in Quebec, which will last about 13 weeks. Topics to be taught are general military knowledge, principles of leadership, regulations, basic weapon handling, and first aid. Also, a tough physical fitness program will also be included into this. Upon completion of that, you will be eligible for higher training and promoted to captain, known as the second phase, or the military occupational training. You will receive formal instruction in a field environment, and you will learn about the clinical, technical, logistic, and administrative aspects of pharmacy practice in the Canadian Forces. You can also go about receiving a degree in pharmacy while already working in the military, and you will receive full pay and allowances to help you get through all of this. After you've completed your pharmacy degree, then you must serve as a pharmacy officer for at least 4 years. Within the first year of that, you will complete a 6-month preceptor pharmacist program at an accredited civilian hospital. And now Melissa will be explaining the requirements of becoming a pharmacy officer.
The requirements to becoming a pharmacy officer: you must be a Canadian citizen, you must be 17 years or older with parental consent if under the age of 18. You have to meet the Canadian Forces medical standards, successfully complete selective process interviews and examinations, pass the physical fitness test. You must have a degree in a pharmacy granted by a recognized university. You have to pass the Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada qualification exam, also known as the PEBCs. And you must hold a current license to practice client-based pharmacy in a province or territory of Canada. If you have all the requirements, you are eligible for direct entry as a pharmacy officer. And now Nicole will tell you about the role and the duties of the job. As a pharmacy officer, you will need to be able to adapt easily to change, because it's not just about distribution of drugs. Your time will be dedicated to consulting with patients, physicians, and other healthcare professionals. You will have to participate in expanding your education and learning new training skills, along with training others for an intern position. As a military pharmacist, you will have clinical knowledge about treatment of disease and battlefield injuries. You will also be knowledgeable with chemical warfare, the therapy for emergency medicine, pain management, infectious diseases, and intensive care therapy. A pharmacist in the Canadian Forces is the position you can be expected to fill, or working as a material manager in a military depot, a pharmacist in a field of medical unit, and a clinical pharmacist in a military base. Working at this type of job, you will need to be ready to deploy anywhere in the world at a time of conflict. And now Melissa will discuss the beyond the scope of what a pharmacy officer does. For beyond the scope of things you can do to better yourself. As a pharmacy officer, you may have the opportunity to compete with your fellow colleagues for post-graduation training in one of the accredited Doctor of Pharmacy programs in Canada. If selected, the associated training costs will be paid and you will remain on a full salary while attending the university. You will also receive a competitive salary and a valuable opportunity for ongoing education and training, as well as family and personal benefits, supporting work-life balance and a strong pension plan. And now let's have some fun and play a game.